So where were we? So at the end of our last session, y'all had made your way on the train to the top of a mountain. You exited the station onto the peak, went down a bit, and found yourselves looking down upon a fight between some Avery and some elves flying griffins. You came to the aid of the Avery and defeated yon elves, leaving most of them less than alive and one of them unconscious, ready to be interrogated. The Avery had finished off the last of the griffin and were looking at you as you looked down upon this last elf that you had made unconscious. I think that's basically where we were at. What do you guys want to do?
Brown.
Chew this chicken nugget, but then I think we should address the Avery first, being as, they're there and a possible danger.
Mm-hmm.
So I raise my hand at one in a gesture of peace. Computer, stop.
What, your computer blowing up in a fireball now, too?
I'm just trying to close all programs, and it's instead opening all programs. All right.
Yeah, that's the exact opposite things. Okay, so you look around at the Avery that had befallen upon this this elven archer that had been on the back of the griffin, and they kind of nod to you for at a moment. One of them kind of steps forward, seems to be... What?
I'm not going to let him stab the guy.
No.
Because I know that's what they've been doing with all these guys.
Well, that's what they did with the griffin. But he's stepping towards you.
Oh, okay.
And, well, I don't know. You're still way up over here, so... As an eagle. So I'm presuming you fly back?
Oh, while you're on your way back, I could grab the elf down there if you can.
Okay. I circle... Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely dead.
Oh, I don't need him alive. I just want to make sure he wasn't the one carrying the orders out.
I see. Okay, so you grab the body on your way back. You fly and you drop it unceremoniously at the top of the cliff face. The Avery kind of moves towards you and kind of, sets their spear to the side and kind of gives you a sort of a measuring glance, kind of like taking you in. You can see a couple of them are pretty badly injured, but in general they're not too much the worse for wear. One of them kind of steps forward, seems to be the leader of the group, and starts to speak in sort of like a high-pitched voice where he's clearly kind of struggling with the sounds and shapes of the common tongue. And he's like, thank you for assistance, I guess.
Hey, I understand this guy.
Yeah.
It is a convenient turn of events. You're welcome for it. I wish you'd left the griffin. I say this as like I'm like rifling through the possessions of the elf, clearly looking for papers.
Okay. So on...
Can we ask what you have against these elves?
You know, what the nature of your conflict was?
Sorry, Dave texted me or something real quick. They kind of just look around and like they have been, how do you say, occupying our territory. We don't like them.
Man, I wish I'd have known that like a year ago. I might have changed some trajectories.
Might have.
Huh? Yeah, no. Good to know. How has your conflict been as of late? I say, like, kind of casually, just dragging the unconscious one over towards the other one, and then starting to search the next one.
Sure. Go ahead and make the investigation check to kind of go through them.
Guess I'm playing giant
Someone
eagle.
will assist me on this.
Yeah,
I rifle. Excuse me. I rifle through the belongings of the dead ones near me as well.
I'll stay giant eagle and just kind of gently peck and claw at the one that's still alive.
Clearly missing. Oh, no.
Mostly just shielding it with my body, my giant eagle body.
Why can I not? Oh, it's on the core page. That's why, because I'm an idiot.
There you
Okay, yeah. Holland will assist.
Okay. Sure. Not that it matters. Okay, so you start kind of going through their stuff, as well as sort of like the saddlebags of the griffins and the like, kind of keeping an eye out on, papers and that kind of thing. You do, on the one you pulled over here, he's got a lot of arrows and, some various vials and flasks, I guess, kind of like on his person, many of which are written in Elven. Hold on, I can see what language you speak. Yeah, and you can read them, Max, because you speak Elvish, but they're clearly labeled as poison of some stripe, so it's like to, various clever warnings about not drinking things, that stuff. The griffin itself, the saddle is mostly like the bags are basically empty. There's some water, some basic supplies, but nothing too there's no paperwork or anything like that, basically, on the one over here. This guy over here that you took up from the bottom, same kind of basic deal where it's like arrows, sword, a pretty nice bow, but you don't really see much in the way of like paperwork or anything of that like. And so as you kind of
I look over at Dendron and say, check the saddlebags on the downed griffin and like look the other ones have been empty.
Yeah. And this one over here, unfortunately, was the center of a pretty massive explosion, if you recall, where the archer there had fired some sort of very explosive arrow basically at the ground at their feet. What is left of them and their belongings is not complete by any means, and you can see like the papers or whatever that might have been on their person are singed, and very, very difficult to read. But as you kind of like flip through them, you get some basic like instructions about when and where to be bringing fresh mounts and that kind of thing. So it's sort of like a quartermaster request, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, these are part of the support.
Yeah, and you get the impression that they were either on their way to pick up supplies and mounts and take them somewhere, or they had just returned from that kind of thing. And as you kind of talk, as you had talked to the Avery and kind of go through these belongings, you ask them how it was going recently, and they kind of like shake their heads and say, more and more of them. Difficult. They're surrounding the sacred mountains. Massive army.
which ones are the sacred mountains?
If you pull over to the world map, come on. It's these.
Oh,
The Four Peaks, Green Valley. Nah.
Oh, isn't that bringing us exactly where we were guessing this confluence is?
yeah. Yeah, very likely.
Well, okay, that means that we have another faction to bring with us. I guess I'm glad that we have been led to this point via chicanery of magic and divination.
Just remind me, it's yet another day.
A lovely day to ask some stuff. No,
And tomorrow is the day of the communication, as you might recall.
Right. We're not exactly sure when that occurred.
No. But it's kind of like early. It's morning of the last day of the month of Spinalia, and the next day will be the first of Winter's End.
Right. Okay, well, I suppose we have a number of points to contend with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looking over at Gary. So, we have some business over there. I don't suppose you'd be interested in a coordinated strike against your disliked enemies.
And they kind of look at you like you're crazy. They go, many. We don't.
Oh, how much longer is on the cal?
How many? What?
The recalibrate. Sorry, it popped into my head that like, oh yeah, it's the next day. The recalibration is however many hours closer to be completed.
I pop over and I burn a greater restoration on Max.
Yeah, the calibration will take another 6 hours. Okay.
Max, you have been greater restorated.
You may want to make sure you have one available for after the calibration completes.
Wait, alright.
Is there like a countdown on the tablet for that? I feel like that's the kind of thing that the tablet might be able to say.
If you greater restored, then you're not an eagle anymore. You can just see the progress bar on the tablet in terms of like what it's doing.
Did not greater restore. I remained an eagle because that is a. Yes. Ignore me.
All right.
Right. Well, that's some stuff. Yeah, we may be crazy, but we are coordinating at least 2 armies to that location
And
to interfere with the alignment, the unioning, the whatever it is that allows the elvish deity to communicate with his people.
And they're like, there are so many of them.
Okay, well, perhaps striking something else to draw that attention? We were going to go in through the mountain.
Which mountain were you planning on going through?
Like, just your back at the railway, because they're up at the ledge now.
And I think they're kind of looking at the railway and they're like kind of confused as to what you're kind of referring to.
But do those rails not go underground at some point, or are they just topside all the way in?
They keep going underground, but they're running east-west at this point. You're not sure if they're going to get you north to where you want to go.
Okay. Do you guys know where that goes? Really got to start adding railways to the map.
I thought it was going to a nexus point. He's next side.
You guys are, I mean, it came here. It looks like this is probably the closest it's going to get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you have a kind of a method of flying, or other transport over vast distances, you might be able to get there before the end of the day tomorrow.
I suppose the immediate question would be, can I get anybody on the comm?
Who are you trying to talk to?
Well, the anyone who would answer. I mean, in theory, it should connect to the.
Right. I guess the captain would answer. Yeah.
Oh, hey, it is planetary. Good to know. How are things?
I guess okay. We've got these dragons unloaded here next to this ruined keep.
How are the pirates doing?
Fine, I guess. They're, I don't know, sort of setting up some like camp out here on the plains.
Good to know. Good to know.
Oh, and you don't even ask about the dwarves? Huh.
The dwarves can take care of themselves.
I scream really loudly because I obviously don't say that.
Yep, still an eagle.
I'm also like
fly like an eagle
toward the sea.
Yeah, northern. Well, no.
I think the words were beneath the sea, and that always confused me. Why is the eagle flying beneath the sea?
Because it's better down where it's wetter. I mean,
Sure.
not from me, man.
I'll take it from you then.
No, it's to the sea. It's definitely to the sea.
No.
Fly like an eagle. Beneath the sea.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, beneath is just so much harder to say.
Anyway.
It's neither sensible nor fits the meter. Anyway.
Okay. That was an aside, a thorough aside.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
How are the dwarves? I can't talk, so ignore me.
Yeah.
Continue to ignore me.
Should I take it the dwarves are okay?
It's like, I guess. I mean, we shot down like 5 of those blimps.
Oh, that's fewer than I was hoping. But thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Just... I wish they could spontaneously fail to fly properly. Okay, we need to get those people here-ish and figure out a way to communicate a safe place to land. We should probably do divinations first. I look over at the eagle. We might need some casting. Does the box have any features of note in the area?
Immediate area, no.
Does it have any indicators, like range indicators that don't appear on the map?
Nothing you guys haven't found so far. So like it's the nexus and the prison, the cell.
Yeah,
they're all they're both north.
Those are pretty much the same spot. Right?
Pretty close, yes.
Well, yeah. What is the Avery geopolitical situation like? Do you have uniformed forces?
They're struggling a little bit to kind of follow the words, but they're like, no.
Like I look over at Holland and he casts tongues and lends assistance in the area when necessary.
And it's kind of freaky. because like Holland is like screeching, like in pitches that like kind of fall outside of your hearing to talk to them. And he's like, well, apparently they don't have a standing army. They've never had a standing army. Their kind of focus right now is really just sort of guerrilla insurrection, as it were. There's apparently some kind of griffin hatchery nearby that they're trying to disrupt.
Oh, to have griffins.
Well, apparently there's a bunch of them, just, and he kind of vaguely gestures northward.
Do any of us have nature? Anyone have an idea what the gestation period on a griffin egg is?
Well,
Like,
considering
50 years or
that,
something?
up until a year ago, they were completely mythical. Nobody knows.
I rolled a 13, which is better than.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to ask you, Tony, a question. What is the gestation period on Basilisk in America today?
Well, I mean, we're talking American basilisks, not any of the invasive basilisks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Is this an African
And
swallow?
then that is a non-question, because invasive Asian basilisks have completely supplanted the native basilisk.
The murder
Their
basilisk?
gestation's less than a month.
The murder basilisk?
The Asian murder basilisk.
Yeah. Well, but that's kind of like the point, is that it's up until you guys had seen the griffins, not even 6 months ago, they were completely mythological. So a nature check isn't going to do you any good. Is basically what I'm saying.
Oh, well then, can Holland do a lore check?
An arcana, maybe? But
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, he can try.
I click on the communicator. Hey, Cap, can you talk to the pirates and see how many people they have that are good at handling animals?
Hold on. Let's see.
Also, are you still Eagle form?
Yes.
I'm still gone.
Because we're gonna need to throw some divination before we properly plan.
I mean,
They
that, but I've not given up my ability to fly until absolutely necessary.
I can appreciate that, but fair enough. I fair enough, especially because this is precisely the thing I usually give you shit about. I'm gonna turn into a dwarf and do a cartwheel, and then turn back into an eagle. Wait, why would you do that?
Yeah. So the answer comes back. It's like, this lady here says maybe 3. She's got a druid and a couple like people who worked out on farms.
Wait, which lady is it?
She says her name's Tess.
Oh, Tess is there? Put Tess on.
Okay. And there's a minute, and it's like, hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, well, we're good, I guess. This crazy box is pretty crazy.
Yeah, but incredibly useful. We're in the Avery Lands right now.
Oh. How
I
about
know, right?
that?
Didn't even blow a Sunday.
That's impressive.
So, how are the dragons? I would ask the captain, but I get the distinct impression he doesn't particularly cough.
No, he doesn't seem to like him. All of the guys on this ship seem to be not happy about the dragon thing. I don't know.
I have yet to see them happy, which
Yeah.
is weird, because if I was like a 12-foot tall human, I'd be super happy about that.
Well, I guess they just don't have the same stakes, Yeah, no, we're okay. we're starting work on getting some of the keep sort of refit. We're starting to lay out like camps and things like that on the plains for when other people get here. I guess
using my beak and claws and wings, I mime to max a large storm and then something passing through the storm.
Make a performance check to see if he understands you.
I do not understand him. I don't care how good his performance is.
Yeah, no. His performance is even worse than your understanding of it. He's like,
No, I walk over, like I walk over to the eagle and like push it over, like it's choking to death. Like, something like that.
I like that. I stop performing. How does Holland respond?
This is how it's like all the time with them.
yeah.
Okay, so apparently there's a giant elf army massing right where we wanted to go and screw things up. So that's a thing.
So they're
yeah.
they're there. Well, isn't that where the Warehams going?
I know, right? It feels like we could just stand aside and watch the fireworks, but that's probably irresponsible.
Well, considering they're our allies at this point.
Yeah, I also don't know how Wareham's force composition and strength compares to the, elf front.
Well, how many elves are there?
Hey, I look over at Holland to the nearest Avery. How many is many?
And Holland kind of has a brief conversation with them in that kind of high-pitched voice, language of theirs. Turns back and he says, the closest equivalent they have for counting it is more than the peaks. And he kind of just gestures at the vast array of mountains. So...
Yeah, I looked at the little platinum ball and I'm like, well...
Voice talkie.
Voice talkie?
Okay, I misclicked and it's gone for a second there.
Okay.
You've been drinking because it's a Saturday and you had a bunch of Miller High Life.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to fault you for that chain of events. Yeah, so the local term for the number is more than the peaks, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of like a 40 days kind of a thing. Basically, the biggest number they can think of. I haven't spent enough time amongst their culture to understand exactly how imaginative they are. But given the density of elvish resistance we've seen in other locations, we can probably infer that this is the largest single army, and that means I don't really favor our chances if we're caught. So clearly we need to be sneakier, and hopefully Wareham performs wellish.
So Wareham's going to come up the river through the kingdoms into a standing army of tens of, if not hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, do you have any idea how many Wareham had there?
You know, I'm not sure, but if it's coming up the river on ships, I would say they're going to get massacred.
Well, I don't want that to happen. I want them to fight a Pyrrhic victory. Or maybe a valiant
the dream.
I would take valiant defeat.
I see. Well...
okay. But, even if they are obliterated, if we disrupt things, then we'll only have lost Wareham. One of Wareham's fighting forces. Granted, their principal one.
Well, I don't know that that's their principal force. I mean, I would be surprised if they don't have another force somewhere up in on the borders of the Elven Empire.
Oh, fair enough. Wow, that is... Sorry, I just saw how bold the ideal transmutation location was. I wonder how many dragons I need to kill to get that nexus. Probably just the one, but it's probably the biggest one I can find. Never mind, that's a question for another. Wait a minute, that's an elf thing anyway. They have a fake book, right?
A witch or what?
Sorry, I was cycling through a bunch of stuff because I was looking at the world map, and at this point, like, I feel like Max is just gonna stream of consciousness because, like, there's a lot of inherent mechanical stress in the situation. But I was like, there's I wonder how many dragons I would need to kill to get the key to the transmutation nexus. That it's like, well, probably just one, but it'd be a very difficult one to get to. And then it was, wait, but that would be a fake one anyway. There's an elf that has that key for real.
Yes. That is your understanding of the situation, correct?
Wait, so do the dragons actually control any of the nexuses?
They sit on top of the enchantment nexus, like literally sit on top of it.
Yeah, but they don't actually control it. They just think they control the enchantment nexus.
Well, I don't know.
Or they have a lend-lease program?
Maybe. But, I mean...
At some point we were given detailed information about this, although I remember a shape of the information and less so exactly what it was or how we got it.
Yeah, you got it by talking to the horse mother.
Ah, okay. Well, whew, that would be a fun conversation to have again. Anyway,
She's real, right? She's one of the real ones.
Anything that has physical effects in the world is real in a certain way. The question is, do you know the nature of it? And we do know that the nature of the Horse Mother is a manifestation of the collective will of the halfling people.
That is correct.
Which means she's probably picked up loot by now.
I missed that last bit. She probably what?
Picked up loot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
Holland's
here's
probably
the
been
thing.
infectious the last couple of times we've passed or interacted with them. Much to the chagrin of the leadership. But I feel like there's probably a popular movement of people whose favorite song is Man-Eater.
Yeah. That was still a good joke, even if I had to wait like almost a year to make it. Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Um,
I know there's a lot on the plate.
No, well, okay. Unless we can get, I look over at the aviary and I'm like, do you have any contact with dragons? Probably not.
They shake their heads no. And Holland's like, they don't like me.
No way of opening or closing that door just yet. Although, man, it would be great. Hell, I don't want to talk to a dragon yet anyways. I don't actually control the thing. No, we need divinations, man. Like, that's what has to happen next. So we need to craft a question. I feel like we gotta have like an hour session every Friday evening. Just be in ceremony where we work out the divinations for the next play session.
I could do like an earlier Saturday if you like.
Yeah, but if I wake up early on Saturday, I'm probably cleaning because I'm not doing cleaning at any other time, and I probably am just sleeping earlier on Saturday.
When I say an earlier Saturday, I mean like a 3 or something, not.
Well, then I'm probably, buying either booze or energy drinks or food to get me through the game. And then the following game the following day. But that's a different question entirely. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna have to like seek guidance because we need to target 2 to 3 strike forces at this point. And we don't actually know exactly what we're going for. where we are going for. You know, I feel comfortable with that construction. Never mind.
I mean, let's continue. Let's talk a little more to these Avery before we're done.
I'm not. I agree. We should get more information from them, but some of the information we get from them will have to be guided by the divination. So we're probably going to do a before and after. But by all means, take the lead on the questioning the Avery.
Okay, I turn back into a dwarf, and I just ask, do all the Avery oppose the elves, or are some working with the elves?
Not all. Some.
Are there more in opposition than supporting them?
And they kind of like give the side to side hand motion. Holland says, "Yeah, it's even split."
So if we brutally murdered the leader of the Loyalist Party, do you think you could create a popular swoon amongst even their people and then uprise against the Alps?
I think they say that they're not sure. They think that it's possible, but it would kind of depend on who was to step in.
Well, do you have a... Just how organized is the resistance? I realize that you're working primarily with guerrilla tactics, but like, are they just a whole bunch of isolated cells that have kind of rudderless direction? Or
Well, the Avery in general are pretty split and tribal. So like centralized government's really just not their thing in the best of times.
Right.
So like you do get the impression that their sort of method and the way they're working here is all kind of focused on a very like individual warlord / strongman kind of situation. Like
the best kind of government.
Exactly.
I mean, the best kind of government for parties and murder hobos to influence.
Actually, very true.
Although I feel like we've stayed relatively clear of murder hoboism. I mean, there is a lot of murdering and very few homes, but I feel like murder hobos are a specific thing, and we're not quite that definition.
Not quite.
We did it for our country.
I mean, cities do
So
tend to
it's
explode
fine.
when you arrive, but you know.
Oh, whoa.
Hey.
They were asking for it. Did you see how
Already-
many cities were?
We didn't start the fire.
Oh, good God. Is this going to be all night with you, Tony?
Probably, yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah,
more
mostly-
importantly than assassinations that we don't have time for, Max. Probably we don't. I mean, maybe we do.
Okay, listen, we don't know where we're going yet. Where we go, we will run into at least one thing we don't particularly want to fight. And after we rip its limbs off, then we'll have to figure out how to, like, swing large number politics with it. Because, quite frankly, I can't personally murder every elf on this continent. It would just take too long.
Okay. What was the date of the original sending, or the magic wonkening, if you will?
For what?
When did it happen?
Wait, what are you asking about?
I'm gonna ask what happened at the peaks. What did it look like here? What was the, if there was any portent, if there was any...
Yeah, when? Like,
Yeah,
still don't know what it's
I don't know what time frame you're talking about.
6 months before this game started, and Max and Rufus
Last
were...
time this date occurred?
Last
like the
time
upcoming
something
day?
happened. What was this place like?
Well, I don't know if we know when the last time ascending happened was. Did we get that information from the horseman?
No. You got what you got was the information that you pulled off of the body outside of Tessay.
Oh, right. And we would have gotten that. So, one, how frequently was that? And two, that that immediately preceded a large military action by the elves, was
It did, yes.
that happened right before the general came on us, right?
Yes, and it's also what happened right before the attack on Ifeta. So like the time that's spent from after to say to Ifeta was maybe a month, a little less. So
Okay.
you would imagine, you know, whatever it would take to organize and mobilize that kind of units, and then like the time from Ifeta to the explosion at Didnai is probably another like a month from that. And let me just double check my calendar here real quick. Because it's got all the secret dates on it.
Well, also, David,
Yeah.
I I feel shitty piling on, but if at any point you get like an hour and I'll just owe you a case of beer, and you just thumb through and find all of the things you've handed us and dump them into the handouts folder, I
Oh,
will
good lord.
thank you profusely.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I
stuff.
just feel like I'm regularly asking you a question that I know has been on a handout at some point, and
Yeah,
it
it's just
saddens me.
it's kind of the difficult part of like moving this from table to digital is like all of the maps and all of the, you know, stuff that you guys actually have access to. Why won't you open? I'm having trouble getting the Google Doc to open with all my dates on it.
Also, to the rest of the party, I found my original fire lance.
You're breaking up real bad.
Oh, well, that's. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just you keep breaking up.
All right, let me just start axing things and seeing if it gets better.
Okay.
And let's try that. That's the thing that's usually my
There we go.
bugbear. Everything coming through clear now?
It's a little bit. Okay, so let's see. The whole thing at outside of to say happened on the 11th of Morny, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Okay, well, I guess well, I'm gonna just. For me, it personally doesn't matter what the exact date is. I just want to know if there was any local phenomena that happened with any of the sending that coincided with the dates that.
Like the other attacks, or
No, I think he's
mean,
asking like if there was a giant glowy shaft of light coming from the sky pointing
was there
down.
a laser beam or northern lights, even though we're on the southern continent? If so, where that was centered, and you know.
Well, I mean, I suppose you can ask the Avery if there were any unusual effects in the air on those relative dates.
That's what I'm asking.
I guess like the closest to kind of the dates you're looking at, there would be nothing that they would have recalled.
Okay. And on the day that magic went wonky?
Oh, like how wonky? Which wonky? Like the super wonky day?
The one with the nuking day.
Yeah. Okay. That day, I'm trying to think. What does Dendron know about when magic went wonky?
All I know is that magic went wonky. I don't actually know that there was a nuke, but it was a very,
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what Dendron would actually know about it before I answer the question. I guess they would say that somewhere around that time, they're not sure the exact dates. There was a it's when the palace appeared outside of their like trade city.
Tell me more about this palace.
Green crystal, kind of burst up out of the ground.
Skiskatikikasi?
Yeah, it's right around in there.
Hey guys, I think we've been looking at this kind of new targets, right? Important information just got passed down.
Yeah.
Hey, drunk Tony.
I don't know how new that is, but
I don't think we've ever been told that the Green Palace was in Skiskaskati. I think we've just been going under the assumption that it's in the Four Peaks, which don't, they're adjacent, but not the same thing, at least to me.
well, the
Actually, I think that
the Nexus is in the Four Peaks.
Yeah, and I think at least I was assuming, because we've never actually talked about Skiskaskati ever, really.
pronounced Schenectady.
Yeah,
Synecdoche, that's it.
yes. So since we never talked about Manitou, I think we were always planning on going to the Four Peaks and not the Bird Town. We should go to this palace. Let's go adventuring in a palace, guys.
I am absolutely certain that palace is the most fortified position on this planet.
Yeah, I would have.
I mean, we are going there because that's where the divination told us to go. But
to be fair, I think the divination was just
Valley of Four Peaks, Land of Avery, Green Palace, Broken Heart.
That was a different divination, right?
That's the divination for how we disrupt the communication. Divination 2 is how we do it safely, or how we get there safely.
Yes, correct.
Oh, see, getting there safely and disrupting it safely, two different things.
I would look over at the Avery. I was like, "Hey, does the phrase "the clouds and the empty land" mean anything to you?"
Well, they kind of point to the clouds.
Is this land particularly empty?
Well, and the thing was like, you guys had known that this was generally referred to that as that in sort of like Holland would have been able to tell you that, like in.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You did tell us.
Yeah.
That's how we decided to
take the train.
The southbound train.
Yeah, that is correct.
There are some markers I've never seen before on this map.
Which ones?
The Nexus points.
They've always been
Not
there.
really.
I
I was gonna say.
just labeled them clearer.
Yes, that would probably do it. Noticeable. And then the ideal transmutation location, I don't recall either.
I do feel like the fonts keep on changing
They
on
might.
that map.
Yeah, it looks good. It's clearer.
Okay, so what's the plan? I know I keep demanding plans, but what is the plan?
Moving forward, we are going to... I'm a soldier, I just walk in line. Just
You just
whoever
take
orders
orders?
me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
wow.
right. Dendron,
Well, I
do
mean-
you feel like you've gotten enough information out of these creatures, or should we start crafting a question for the great AI in the sky to answer?
Do they know any soft spots or other bases other than the one that we're mainly supposed to go to? Have they seen like generators or anything external that would be vulnerable for this huge like super fortress we're going to? Any information tactically that we can glean from them, including size and location of other groups that they're aware of, etc.
I mean, I don't know. What's the question? It's like
Are
specifically.
Are there any other groups in the Avery lands?
Well, there's they would tell you they know about the roosts for the griffins. There's a small force there.
They placed a marker for the griffin roost.
I think they could probably get you a rough idea of it.
Well, that's interesting. Hey! It's the other special looking mountain. Well, it's near the volcano.
Yeah.
Wait, it isn't the actual volcano, is it?
It's close. It's not the actual volcano, no.
So all we do is we force an eruption and direct it at the griffin posts. Done.
Do they... So, around Skesketahoski, do they have any SAM sites, or are the elves armed with man pads? Any kind of...
I don't know what
Surface.
these...
What?
I don't know
Weaponry.
I don't know what you're asking. Let me just say that.
I've read into the Green Palace, which we think we are. Came here to, kick ass and take names. Our friends will be flying in on a great ship in the sky. But we worry it's a fragile great ship of the sky, and we're worried that they might bring fell magics to knock it out of the sky. Have you seen any fell magics knocking things out of the sky? Or that could knock things out of the sky around the the Green Palace? Crystal Palace?
Well, okay, so I think that you would get from them that with that many elves, yes, probably. Nothing they're specifically aware of.
Okay. But the armies are... So the bulk of the army is in Schenectady, not in the Four Peaks.
They're the same place.
There's a 100-mile difference between the two, but
Okay, I'm sorry. I assumed that the valley kind of ran between the Four Peaks and out into the open.
yeah, basically. So like the Four Peaks are like where the range kind of curves around. The Four Peaks do form like the valley between them, and that is just plains all the way out to the sea there.
I see. And is the Green Palace directly on top of the Conjuration Network or Nexus? Or Dead Center in the
The Green Palace
Where
is the Green Palace is closer to the Trade City.
Okay, so it's just outside of the city.
Yeah. So like the difference in like distance there is probably like, there's probably 100 miles different. I guess 50, 100, somewhere in that range.
I don't think we ever figured out what the Broken Heart was.
No, you did not.
It turns out it's actually the crown of my people.
I mean, if it is, then I'm going to just tell Tess to load everybody in the fucking ship and get to that city, and then beat the fuck out of as many dwarves as they can find that aren't helpful. It's okay. The 10 that are already on the ship will tell you which ones to punch.
I wonder, could one fly boy packed fill with pirate ladies and dragons take on the might of the Broken Lands dwarves?
The dwarves from
Could be a good
Durandal?
fight.
I don't know about that.
I mean, 2 dragons.
I mean,
Yeah.
the dragons punch above their weight for dragons, but, like, apparently elves aren't so incredibly weak that dragons just ignore them. So, that's something to say.
Oh no, I'm talking not elves. I'm talking about the dwarves.
Oh, I'm sorry. I clearly must have missed, like, a third of your original question. Oh, do you think they would materially influence that battle? Is that what you're asking?
I'm imagining the battle of the dwarves of Durandal versus our allies.
Yeah.
in
Do you
the
think
spaceship.
Tess would actually be able to help that much with that?
No, but you said you were going to tell them to load up and go there, and I just don't think that they would win.
Well, no, I meant I wanted them to help defend Kimberrock, not go to Durandal.
Yes, we're talking the same thing, and I'm saying that I think the dwarves, I think the hot dwarves that love blood would win that fight versus Tess. Even
Well,
if Tess has dragons.
I mean, all they really need to do is hold for longer, because that's where we'd go, assuming we survived whatever happens over the next day. Also, I'm thinking 2 steel dragons can take out a shit ton of. I believe they could take out more than 5 blimps.
Well, yeah, but we gotta assume that the blimps will be landing beforehand. Anyways, this is just a bunch of conjecture that's not affecting the current story. All right, so
So are you divining something? Do you have a plan? Do you have a place you want to go?
It's now time to figure out what we're divining. Zach, what do we need to
Okay.
have divined for us?
Sure, let me look up your spells again. Honestly, I want to know how we interfere with the crystal heart. How we use it to disrupt the sending. Or just where the fuck it is. Although I'm pretty sure we know where the fuck it is. It's in the
how
Commonwealth.
we use it to disrupt it is going to be...
I mean, what it is and how we use it.
I was going to say, I think that's one step beyond what we really need. Is like, what is the crystal heart and how do we use it to disrupt the sending?
Yeah. Kind of exactly.
I'm down with that.
Okay, so the specific divination is
What is the crystal heart and how do we use it to disrupt the sending? Weird. What? I pop out my character sheet.
That's a good one. Forced Holland to learn legend lore. It's shame incarnate is what it is.
That spell's awesome.
Especially for this setting.
Yeah.
What is legend lore?
or name a creature. Excuse me. You name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you name.
Oh, that.
It's a level 5 divination spell. Like, it's powerful, and the more information you have, the more definite the answer you get. Which means if you recast it on subsequent days, you can kind of use it to laser in.
Okay. So, at this point, Dendron lands, resumes his dwarvish shape, and starts concentrating on the divination. Are you doing this as a ritual, or are you just going to cast this in action?
Oh, it's divination or a ritual?
It is indeed.
Yeah, I ritualized that.
Okay. So, over the next 10 minutes, Dendron will sit and kind of ponder and contemplate the question of what is this broken heart, and how can it be used to disrupt the communication. And Dendron, as you kind of sit there and the cold is sort of seeping into your bones and the air is sort of becoming chill, you
psychic damage.
No, you hear like this echoing resonance from the wind pouring through the caverns and the peaks and valleys of the mountains around you, and it kind of whispers in this voice that says, the center of the cell, the heart of the palace, the shattered lock on the emerald floor, a wall restored, a voice silenced.
All right, I do that thing.
Exactly what I didn't want to hear. Oh, fuck. Sorry, you do what?
I just do that thing where, as it comes to me, I say it out loud in a dull, monotone voice. But you all heard what is written there.
Nice.
So the box has full charges, right?
Yes. The box is full charges. You haven't used it for days.
Okay, well,
Let's sneak into a palace, boys.
I feel real bad about that.
I mean, yes, but we got a day.
Okay, yeah. What can we set up in it? Okay, so I look over at the Avery. So, friends, who do we talk to get information from your capital, from Birdtown?
What kind of information?
Well, specifically, we need to sneak into the Green Palace.
And there's this sort of like high-pitched keening, and Holland says they're laughing.
Ah, such a joyous sound. Ah. And Max is like working his jaw like he's got a bubble in his ear. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the past we've had to get like right next to shit before.
Yeah, you've had to be pretty close.
Okay.
I mean, Holland can teleport y'all.
Yeah, I know. But
He's never been there before. He's never been there before.
No, he does not have 2 castings of teleport.
Oh, no, that's true.
He's on our way out.
Yeah, we need to cause enough chaos to get in, and then we need to teleport the fuck away as soon as we've dropped the repair. And, then send some sendings like, it's done, go home, fly, you fools.
Uh,
Fly, you fools, so I've got to do some shit in the desert.
Dendron,
Me.
make me a wisdom save, please.
You're usually
Wisdom
reasonably
save?
good.
Yep.
Yeah, he's safe.
Okay, you're fine.
I feel fine, guys.
Why did you say that?
I don't know.
No, you noticed nothing.
I don't know. And I'm scared.
You noticed nothing.
I noticed nothing. Oh God, why are these words coming out of my mouth?
All right, Tess. So I know how to disrupt some of the problems. Unfortunately, it requires us to get into the place called the Green Palace. And that, I'm pretty sure, is the worst place in the world.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, I always thought it was the Silver City, but, you know, whatever.
You know, I keep on hearing about that, but I'm going to have to go there eventually, so we'll worry about the Silver City later.
It's a terrible place.
Have you been?
I've heard the stories.
Fair enough. Hey, want to go there later?
What, like on a date?
I wasn't proposing it, no.
It's good.
out of sight of space, the space-time screen, I pat Max on the back and shake my head knowingly.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it. It sounds dangerous. I mean, especially if it's at the center of whatever elven force is located in the Averylands.
I think it's that is like literally the seat of our adversary's power. In fact, we need to walk up to his cell door.
Well, that sounds like suicide.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Well, most things we do sound like suicide,
I mean,
but honestly, we die rather rarely. Not nearly as much as one would think.
I mean, that number has been increasing. That the frequency of that event has gone up dramatically over the past couple of days.
True. The last couple of hours, really. We can judge the frequency in hours right now. But yes.
There was a big spike about 14 hours ago.
It's been 0 days since a death on the party.
Well, before that, we've had probably our longest streak yet. Definitely the longest streak I've seen with you, Dave.
Yeah, well, I told you it's harder to kill people with 5e.
It is. They really don't want you to kill people, and that's strange.
It's contrary to my nature, but it's fine.
All right. Do we need to do a gut check on whether or not this is actually like possible? Like things get worse for the world if that continues, but also if we get splattered in the middle of that and we drop the necromantic key into their laps, like that's probably an even bigger fit. Question to the party.
I mean, it's what I've been thinking about this entire time, and just keep on coming back to. We're here in the Averylands. We've got to try something. And Holland can just teleport us out. How far can he teleport us?
Teleportation is not limited by things like distance.
He can teleport you to anywhere on the planet.
All right. And if things go bad, he can tell us up to Foreman's Keep, where he can just just a second. I've got this. Yeah. So if things go bad, he can teleport us up to Foreman's Keep, have a nice cold pint, and wait for this all to blow over.
We would need to go to Kimbrock if we were getting teleport.
Okay. New plan. So we go to the Crystal Palace. When things go pear-shaped, we take the teleport to Kinbrock, get the crown, then we take the train up to
We don't know how
Foreman's
to
Peak.
crown. That's got to be our next divination.
We go to the Winchester, have a cold pint, and wait for this all to blow over.
I believe you mean the wasted devil.
Is this the end of the world references?
The zombie one.
Oh yeah, that is
Shaun of the Dead.
that as well.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat how they. I don't know if you remember, but like all of those descriptions that they had were also how the movie actually ended, but in euphemisms.
Yes. I like Top Fuzz better. In fact, Top Fuzz might be my favorite action film of the action comedy variety.
That's crazy.
All right, what's the plan, kids? I know you're still forming one, but I want to keep you focused on it. Because you guys have gone entire sessions of spinning in circles and trying to make a plan.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
so,
I'm just down for whatever, honestly.
we got this divination out.
Mm-hmm.
We know we at least have to go to. Oh, hey, our friends, our bat friends here.
Mm-hmm.
We need help getting to Birdtown, and I'm assuming that Holland is translating things better than this.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just giving Holland the gist. We need help getting to Birdtown. Would there be any way you could help us get there?
They kind of look you guys over and kind of indicate that there's just no way that they can carry you. They point to the griffins and say, well, I mean, that might have worked. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then I walk over and use the charm on one of the griffins.
The dead ones?
No, dude,
They're-
don't do that.
Oh, are you going to raise dead a griffin?
Apparently, it would frustrate Tony, so no, I won't do that.
Yeah.
Would one griffin do it?
Probably not.
I mean, one griffin and one eagle, we could probably carry the entire party.
You really overestimate the number of times I can turn into an eagle a day.
Have you used it more than one? Oh yeah, you get 1 hour caps on those, don't you?
Yes, he does.
Well, how far away? We're only like 600 miles from the other griffin roost. Do you have windwalk today?
I do not have windwalk. I took offense to things. Didn't realize we'd be popping up like I'm hearing an echo of myself. Didn't realize we'd be. Oh, that's causing brain hurt.
Somebody's got speakers, and who's got us going on a speaker?
Not me.
Hey, Tony, start talking and let me see if you pop up in mine.
Hey, I'm talking. Yay! Actually, but I don't hear myself now. Yeah, I was expecting the train to drop us off near the Conjuration Nexus, not here. I do apologize for that.
Well, I mean, we had discussed it before you guys got on the train about where it was going, but.
Oh, actually, from those discussions, I was led to believe we'd be running into like another station down at the bottom that had like a multi-select for the.
No, I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear.
I look over at the Avery. You have any idea where these come out? Pointing at the tracks.
And we tend to avoid them.
Underground area.
And yes, they just sort of flap their wings and fly up a bit and go, can't fly in caves.
It depends on how big the cave is. Also, you should try getting on one of those things. They kind of fly. Move real quick.
Hmm.
All right. Well, As it occurs to me now, our options are. Well, okay, the Griffin Post is still too far for us to get manually to. Like, that's just the case. There's no getting there without movement capacity.
Mm-hmm.
How thorough is the sky coverage there? We don't have any reason to expect they have particularly effective weaponry to defend against an air intrusion, correct?
You would presume not, no.
This is also me asking directly the Avery.
And they say, we too tend to kind of come from the air. They're aware of it. They have archers.
Archers will not be in concern for what I'm proposing. Also, how many people can you round up in the immediate time who would be willing to assist us in dealing a blow not to the massive army, but to the tertiary things? The way you guys like to do.
They kind of look around and maybe 10.
So you guys plus your immediate friends who are currently cooking dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey Tess, how would you guys like to fuck up some Elvish infrastructure?
Yeah, sure. Always down for that.
Load everybody into the boat and put the captain on. Actually, you should get the captain to give you one of these communicator things. I think they can make them. I'm not sure, but super useful.
Okay.
But yeah, get everyone who's fighty loaded up and put the captain on. We need to figure out how to communicate to him where we're going.
Okay. So you're gonna get like basically the boarding crew from the Catherine and
the dragons, and I guess those 10 dwarves, because there's no reason to. Well, actually, no, those 10 dwarves were. Did we ever get like an idea of what they could actually do other than carry their particular weapons?
they have still very little training. So I mean,
Right.
you gave them the basics of this is a spear, this is a shield, this is a sword.
Right, they had a training montage where we like
Yeah.
kicked some things in the air.
Pointy
Okay.
end goes that way.
So now
Absolutely.
they're prepared for everything.
Well, I mean, they'll definitely get blooded if they come along on this trip. Oh, I mean, they'll want to go back to Kimberock after this anyways, so they might as well come along for the... Keeping them near the ship is probably a good idea. Yeah, so put the captain on, and we'll try to coordinate how to get him to land here, to pick us up, and then pop back down.
Okay. She.
This is the best plan I can get with the pieces I have right now. So, sorry.
It's all right. Okay, so Captain comes back on and says, "Oh yeah, okay, so we're taking people where now?"
All right, so I need to figure out how to communicate that to you. Do you guys have a scan of the plant? Can I describe physical terrain features to you?
We did take a scan of that globe of yours,
Okay.
if you recall.
Yeah, I mean, you did. I just don't, like, the globe doesn't have a grid system on it, so I need to, like... this shouldn't actually be that much of a challenge. Right, so there is clearly a caldera south and to the east of those 4 peaks of note that we mentioned earlier in our discussions.
Yep.
All right, so we're approximately, and like I take a measurement of the surface, and like a bearing mark from that caldera. We are on some cliff sides here. You'll need to go there to pick us up. Meet us here as soon as you can. We are going to drop a few degrees in the opposite direction of that same caldera, about the same distance.
Okay.
This is rounding up some combatants to join. Bring everyone who's good to go.
Ooh, look for the railway station.
Oh, you want them to look locally for the railway station?
I mean, when they're, actually on landing and trying to find us, the railway station is probably the easiest thing. I don't know what they can see with that.
Every railway station we've actually come across has been either mostly underground and then had half of whatever structure it was in torn open in viewing ruins, or completely underground.
Yeah, but the one we popped out of is like just ripped halfway off of a cliffside, so I assume they'd be able to see that.
I believe David described these. Oh yeah. I guess he might be able to see. Yeah, there'll be rails. There will be exposed rails and a train. So once you get below the cloud peaks,
Back to the game, if you like. We come down to a point where you guys finish your long rest. You take your break. You eat your food. The Avery have returned with their group of 10, which I realized I didn't put on the map, but I'll drag them over here in a minute. And you find yourselves sort of waiting upon this snowy outcropping, this ledge, for the carrion crawler to make its way to you. As you wait, you kind of get it's the chill of the space and the kind of like the solitude of it, looking out across the mountains and the clouds rolling underneath you. It starts to feel a little it's relaxing, it's comfortable, which is always a bad sign. And just as you're kind of getting used to the relaxing moment of just kind of enjoying the cold, crisp air and looking down upon the valleys, you can see the flash of light out of the sky as rapidly descending comes the carrion crawler. It lands behind you on a outcropping of rock, kind of up and above you guys, and you can see that Tess and some of her crew, in particular Max, the halfling fighter, Jenna, the minotaur fighter, Gresha, the half-troll warrior, and Tess herself come out along with two figures that you saw in the city of Afeta. They are looking a little, aloof. They're not really kind of hanging out with the ladies from Tessa's ship, but they are here at the very least. Tess is kind of looks around and says, I don't know, I just didn't want to bring those little kids with the sharp sticks. I just thought they would get killed.
thank you.
How have you guys been? Long time no see.
It has.
Hey,
Actually,
how's it going?
don't know which of the combatants she brought that I had the closest relationship with, but I do want to run up and give someone a big excited bear hug. I just don't want to do it to someone who would be immediately irritated by it. Unless that could be wedged into... Unless it's the Minotaur or the Troll, which I could do to kind of playfully irritate them.
I think
want to know it would be fun.
I think Genna would probably be your the one you had the most interaction with. She would have been the one kind of ordering you around and teaching you the nature of how to run a ship and all that good stuff. And she was a solid fighter, but nowhere near your level. So you would probably trade sparring with her while you were learning how to be a sailor.
I know. Then I just charge over and kind of lock my arms around her waist and pick her up a little bit. Good to see you guys.
And she's like, "Oh,
it's been entirely too long."
Yes, far too long. How are your knots?
They've been serving us well, actually. I've used them a number of times. There are dwarves that live today because of them.
Told you, knot will save your life one of these days. And the others are kind of looking around, and they're kind of I've never been in the mountains. This is actually quite nice.
Yes, disturbingly peaceful. Also, I don't think it's an issue, but during that downtime, I probably would have, and also probably during the ride, I would have been sketching out plans for armor to be made from those plates.
Sure.
Just to keep you guys informed as to things, we unfortunately, Chad the Black turned into a pillar of stone and is leading an undead army in the Lost Lands, the Broken Lands right now. To what end, we're not sure.
Well, I mean, that boy was always going to wind up leading an undead something, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's
Speaking of which,
incidentally,
here
I pick him up.
doesn't have an undead, the spirit of a powerful necromancer in him anymore, like he used to back on your ship. I'm not sure if we told you that.
Glance back at Holland is like, he's got other problems with the spirit of that undead necromancer.
I mean, we all do. And then that right there is a full-on Titan. His name is I keep on catching Helios. He doesn't speak proper.
They've met Helios.
No.
Yeah, once I got a ride.
Yeah.
Because he popped out at the broken tree. Like, we got him underneath the tree.
It was brief.
That's where they picked you up and you guys were sailing, and then what did you
No, it was like a node near the tree. It was not the tree.
You were underneath the tree. That's where you came out.
Yeah.
Oh, right?
Yes, that's where you guys met Helios.
Really?
Yeah.
And then
they picked him up briefly, but it was very brief.
Because we never met them off of the Lost Lands. We kept on trying to meet up, and it just never worked.
They were on their way. Oh, right. You sent them back because the Wareham ship was there.
Yeah.
Getting destroyed by the elves.
This is an honest-to-God Titan. He doesn't speak real words. But for being so large, he can disappear quite easily. The elves have a griffin roost near here, and we thought we'd go murder the elves, steal their griffins, and fly into the Crystal Palace in Birdtown.
You guys don't have to follow us the entire way.
Okay. So
good if you'll like.
We're here to work on the roost. Is that the plan?
Yeah, the roost is the immediate concern. It'll be a blow against the elvish infrastructure or logistics team, and it'll allow us to get some personal transports, which we can then use to infiltrate.
Okay, that seems reasonable, I guess. Okay.
And then I go over to the dragon, like, thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking this time, and we'll get you back to Afeta as soon as we can.
Very well. I've heard some of the tales from the pirate about what's going on down here, but I still worry about our city, of course.
I assure you, I care for your city as well.
I greatly enjoyed that there was no weird wasp creatures in the sewers of your city. That is my favorite memory of that place.
That's a strange memory. To remember something for not having a thing?
I judge all cities on the number of wasp ladies that live in their sewers, and most cities I've gone to contain a much higher level of wasp lady to sewer than I am comfortable with.
Well, it's good to know. We'll keep a firm lookout for excessive wasps in sewers.
If I'm telling you something you don't know, as soon as you get back, you should do an extensive look of your sewers for wasps.
More specifically, unusual activity with mud, the levels of mud exceeding the water table by a considerable margin. That implies that there's portal activity.
I see. Very well. So we're off to some place to do a thing.
Yes.
I presume combat.
Almost exactly. That would be the immediate.
That was the gist that the pirate gave us.
Yes. Also, if you have any ideas on how to penetrate an Emerald Palace, we'll totally be needing pointers soon.
I don't know. frontal assault? Is it a...
Preferably not. I mean, this is specifically the fortification that surrounds the tomb of our principal opponent.
Ah, well, that is a thing.
It is a thing.
They are built not to be penetrable.
I know. If only we could be high elf priests and convincingly walk in, but that is not my skill set.
Well, there you have it. Okay.
What if we just sent Helios in, dressed as a high elf priest?
I would just try to sneak in, probably.
Say, he would immediately fail being a high elf priest since he would be too high and too elf.
See, you see how what you just said doesn't make any sense? That's why I think he'd be the perfect one to go.
Hey, you haven't tried that.
Yeah, I guess they don't know me personally. Pretty much everybody that saw me from their faction is dead.
It's true. Okay, so you guys board up onto the crawler and head up to the bridge. The captain is strapped in and kind of looking over the scan of the globe, and he's sort of looking at the overall map area and saying, so sees you guys come on the bridge and he points to, it's like, over here, right? We're trying.
Before we leave, I grab the
here?
power rod for the train.
Okay.
But
sure.
yes, over there.
And he says, I mean, it's a short jump. Won't take us but a couple minutes to get there.
Then I suppose we need a plan. I motion over to the Avery that followed us on, or
Yeah.
the point person for them.
Yeah, and they're just...
What do you know of the shape of that fortification?
He's they kind of look down at their, they kind of pull out their hand and they start just trying to drawing lines on their palm. They're like, there are cliff faces along the western edge of the mountains that have caves that go into them. They're very sheer drops, but, and he points to up above it, there's plateaus and other areas above them where you could come down upon the ground and come at them that direction. Once they get airborne, obviously, you will have problems with the Avery, or the Griffins rather.
We know what their local cohort looks like.
It's like small on the outside, a few beastmasters and breeders within the caves, primarily archers. We've really never had major resistance there, but they have enough decent archers that we try not to go in too close. We wait until they leave and harass them from there.
Well, recently some of their folk left.
And he indicates the shattered corpses of the elves and the griffins. Says, yes, they did.
If we land above, maybe we can make maybe we can make enough rope on our way over, or cabling on our way over, to quick rappel down from where we land into one of those cave entrances. And then it's just a matter of charging in before they know what's going on. I think this is kind of a shock and awe raid situation rather than a stealth.
Might I suggest that the Avery and the dragons, I wouldn't say the dragons, though. I would call them, I would use their individual names.
Dezalak and Melniak?
Yeah, there they are, Melniak and Dezalak. You take to the air and handle any airborne elves and griffins, and the rest of us, we charge into the caverns, and I say we just try and murder the biggest elf we can find, and then work our way down by size.
Also, bear in mind, we'll want to retain at least 4 griffins. But
Try and not murder.
try to leave a couple of mature ones alive, especially if they're penned up. So
And they just give you like this. Well, no promises. These things are dangerous.
I understand. I almost had one earlier, but there were complications. All right. So, any last points of information or concerns?
They're like, no, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, as long as you're kind of cognizant of how this all goes, you know, getting in there.
We'll be able to get a very accurate map as soon as we're on the actual peak. So,
you able to print up a couple of those communication terminals?
Yeah, we can get you a couple of those.
I'll just get one to Melniak and Izlak. No offense to my Avery friends here. Oh no, you can speak common.
they can.
Yeah, let's give one to the Avery. What speaks the best common?
And then point out that that's the one that needs to survive. Because as a communications officer, they're unfortunately the most valuable person on the team.
And then I look at the other Avery and go, don't feel too bad. One guy who needed to survive with us, he escaped from that little one's body, and we haven't seen him in like a month.
Okay.
You've had that moment with Dendron. Welcome to the team.
Okay. Let me just get the rest of the Avery on the map here, and I will get you guys. Okay. Pulled over.
All right. So, griffins. I'm looking through the little folio.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the sword I haven't named yet. But the beast weapon.
Yes. I don't know if you've got that set up or not.
I do not have it set up, but I can read it to you quick.
Sure.
But I'm also not intending to use it. I was going to hand it to Tess.
Okay.
Should prove effective on beasts, which I believe griffins are. Are they not? Or are they monstrosities?
I think they are monstrosities. They are
Then
monstrosities.
a different sword that I have not named yet. The monstrosity weapon.
What's the deets on that one?
It is a +1 weapon like all of them. It
Yeah.
has advantage on attack against monstrosities, and on a natural roll 20, it is instantly slain.
Right. You guys did really good rolls on the forging of those weapons.
Some of them were very good. The monstrosity was a good one. The Dragon Slayer is fucking insane.
The demon was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I think the demon was nastier in effect when we brought it into combat, like on my person with the team that we had,
Yeah.
than it is on paper.
It was way
But, like,
nastier than I
it was-
intended it to be, that's for sure.
Yeah. Essentially creating an endless supply of vulnerability is horrifying once someone starts, like,
Yeah.
catering to that fact.
Okay, so... Alright, so
Somewhere in
so
that
Tess will get
line-
advantage on monstrosities, and on a nat 20, she slays them.
Yeah, when she criticals, they're gone.
Perfect, got it. And she'll take the sword up and she'll give it a couple swings, and she'll go, it's a nice blade. Where'd you get this one?
I made it.
Oh,
Chad helped with some of the finer points.
of course.
It's a pillar now.
Yeah, as you
A
said.
pillar of the dwarven community. Oh!
Oh, good lord.
Also, I would have given a cursory glance at everyone when they arrived for necromantic energies, because that's a thing now, I guess.
Yep. Everybody's normal. You know, they're dying. The dragons are dying less quickly than everyone else.
As one might expect.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So what is the plan of attack here?
Well,
For the record, we can't see this map. We only have line of sight, so I've got like
You can't see it?
Griffin. I can see from Dendron, but
Hey guys.
Yeah, there are things in your
just
way. You'll have to
FYI,
move around.
Just FYI, I burned all of my high level spells in the last one.
then
There are no hastes.
then to you, I would say aim for elves.
I can still, hit for 50 pretty.
Ooh, there's a
consistently.
biggin.
or
Oh my
I'll
God.
go with Biggins.
I want a biggin so bad. I will name him Beaky the Beaconer.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I
let's
guess
just
can
what is the plan of attack? So that we can get set up. And we'll make some stealth rolls and all that good stuff just to see what's going on, but they will have seen the ship come down relatively close. And you guys will have to have moved down the mountainside to get here. So we'll
there'll be a level of alert. I would say we send Helios down first, simply because he can reliably climb well and reliably hide well to get some information on where people are.
Mhm.
But we can immediately have a map of the place using Egrin's repair box. I don't think we actually got a real name for the black box, did we?
You did.
Well, then my apologies for forgetting it. But anyways, the repair tool will give us an immediate
The box of
map of the.
Orila.
Okay. Hey, funky.
It's on the piece of paper that I have in Holland's stuff.
I think the combat goal should be to eliminate the humanoids as quickly as possible. And then maybe scatter the griffins. I'm not sure what we're going to see when we get there. Like, in theory, it's a hatchery. We'll want to preserve at least a couple of griffins. I guess if you see someone in a riding position on a griffin, then try not to kill the griffin out from under them. But
again, I would suggest Avery and Melinak and
oh, I also did any of the people who came with Tess seem particularly decent at handling animals?
Well,
Tess brought Max, who was decent at it.
All right, Max, you're with me. I'm going to try and get a hold of one of the griffins relatively quick because we're going to need something to survive, and I am not particularly talented with them. I'll try to keep you out of its beak. Sign.
Okay,
Okay.
she says. And I'm gonna put the Averys on a group initiative.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah.
That that might not be a bad call all around. Just like
Yeah.
frequent use of it.
Okay. So what is the plan of attack? Before we get into it, obviously we'll have to do some stealth checks and some other things to get you guys in position. But given what you can see on the map right now, and you would have had a pretty good view of this coming down, what is it you wish to do? Where do you guys want to be positioned?
Gargantuan versions of these guys? Are those the like level 15s that are habituated and used to those people as their masters, whereas the small ones would be less likely?
I think the small ones are younger, would be my... Yeah.
Right. So I'm seeing...
No idea what an advanced griffin is like. I know griffins generally are animal intelligence, which means a horse is a horse. Like, there would be some horses that would have preferred riders, but I don't know if that's the kind of thing that extends to griffins. If Max or anybody else has an idea of how that works, by all means, pipe up.
Griffins are just, in terms of like the mythological aspects of griffins, you understand that they are once trained, relatively loyal. So it's not one of those things where they are, as far as the mythology goes, at any rate, they're like the best possible war horse in essence.
Oh, so the big ones we probably have to kill, whereas the young ones we might be able to manipulate.
Maybe, yeah.
Potentially.
If the mythology holds correct.
Yeah, I assume that is the Holland take on it.
Yeah. That is kind of what he would give you.
So what I'm gonna do is sneak south. I think I see that bigger griffin that's being treated by a rider currently.
Then with that, like, leave the smaller griffins. We'll try to control them. The big ones will probably have to die. Humanoids first, though.
So I want to go south and get a view on that person, and also kind of a view of the valley, and report back then from. I feel like David was saying that they knew that we were here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A spaceship just landed. They know we're here.
Yeah.
Spaceship coming down is not going to allow for.
I think rather than like me individually sneaking in there, like they're probably either mobilizing currently or, soon will be.
I say we head down in force, because I assume we're not actually on the map, right? We're coming from that direction.
Yeah, you're up on the top of this like hill. There's on top of this mountain. There's
so we're going to have a strike force, and then we're going to have airborne assets.
Yes.
Clearly, the airborne assets will involve the dragons, who should be able to literally eat just about anything that takes off. So if like big griffins come out and join the air to like scout us, then dragon snack. Easily enough done for you, correct, Meliak?
Should be.
So while we were landing, we saw this map. I see 3 entrances into the caverns, and there's the closest one, by those trees.
There's going to be more. I think probably when you came in, you would have seen there's probably like 5 or 6 entrances.
Okay, but well, I guess we head down into that. I say we fight forward. We're not trying to take out all of the opponents here. What we need to do is decapitate their leadership and work from there, right?
Yeah, murder the humanoids, which we'll consider the leadership here.
Yes, but I'm saying there's going to be a leader of the humanoids. We kill that leader, things will probably break our way faster.
Yes, I tend to agree. It's just a question of like, I don't know how you distinguish a leader other than the fanciest outfit.
And they're elves, the fanciest outfit. So I say we get down there. We identify which one of these cavern holes appears to be the one in, the main one, and we storm that. Leaving the Avery and the dragons to mop up elves up top, will we go down inside?
Sure. I think at that point we just need to have Helios scout for a little bit to determine which hole we need to go.
I mean,
because we can drop in theory we could drop from above in front of one of those holes as
I believe we've already landed. Have we?
Yes, we have already landed, but it's a question of we're descending a mountain. We can pick where we want to drop a little bit.
A little bit, yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay.
This is your opportunity to kind of arrange your forces in a way.
I will say, we can't actually, since we're line of sight, I can't, I understand that you have things deployed, so I don't necessarily need to know them, but knowing,
yeah, that's the thing I'm also.
The terrain would be useful.
Terrain is basically what is. You guys are on top of a cliff edge, and there beneath you is a.
Hey, Tony, just step up to where I am. You'll see everything you need to be able to see.
Yeah, I think I currently see 2/3 of them, honestly.
Yeah, it's like a big plateau.
Okay, so yes, I'm seeing entryways.
I mean, so I'm thinking our principal entrance is probably either or here. I'm guessing here, though.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so I think we should try to drop there en masse, and then leave the Avery and the dragons to clean this up. If the dragons could open by strafing the groups that are still huddled on the ground, that would almost certainly be good for us.
Just FYI, guys, I have 4 castings of sleep that I could do.
We might not. I don't think.
That would be the non-death stuff, though. That's a non-fatal way to get one of the smaller ones out of the fight.
Let me just, David. This is probably more of a player to DM question, just so we don't misgauge this entirely and kind of fuck up the story aspect here. There should be additional assets inside these caverns, correct?
Yeah, they're breeding.
So if we wipe this top section, there's no chance we're only going to have infant griffin and eggs inside, is there?
You're not sure, but probably not.
Okay.
You don't think this is the entirety of their force, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. I just wanted to double check before I accidentally stranded us.
All right. Well, as for suggestions for the local people, let's have them prioritize humans and all stay in a similar area so that we can overwhelm via advantage. I feel like just outnumbering somebody in a small area is the best way to go.
Yeah, so that's not what I wanted. There we go. Deletes. Alright, so I think the PC group should probably focus on this area. We should drop here and try to overwhelm that shit with preponderance of pointies. I think the dragons should open up with breath attacks in this general area. Excuse me, this area. And then the Avery and dragons can continue to destroy the other little groups. That doesn't seem too difficult.
The Avery kind of protect the dragons, 2 to 4 Avery.
Yeah, making sure they don't get swarmed. That's not a terrible.
And providing advantage if it's melee.
Yeah, just assisting them.
Yeah.
But opening for breath attacks, I think, is going to be a big deal, because that's going to allow them to dump a considerable amount of damage into this section. They all seem like they're hittable with individual breath attacks. That might even remove some tokens from the fight, depending on how well it goes.
I'm okay with that gambit. Do you want to just start a round or two? That general outline for the plan seems like the way to go for me. Are we gonna? So they're gonna wait a couple of turns, and we're gonna try to sneak down, and then.
Yeah, we're gonna do the retroactive stealth and all that good stuff. See if they have a rough idea of when you guys are actually going to get here.
I would also have
my invisible mage hand out because it now provides me with advantage.
What you can?
If you use it to fucks with people.
Yeah, just
Just bear in mind, it
people
can only move 30 feet, man.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
even though it's super
well,
like
it's a bonus to move it for me.
right, but if you're dashing, it won't keep up with you. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
If you're
also
fast-
if you use it
It
as a
disappears.
if you use it as a bonus action, be aware that depletes your cunning actions.
Your cunning, yeah.
So that's no
Yeah.
no hiding, no
Well, unless I use
no
my action
dash.
to hide.
no extra attack.
Unless I use my action to do those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if you want to
gotta
burn an
have
action to
the
do that, yes.
Yeah, it's yes. Well, I mean, sometimes it's nice to hide.
Sometimes it is nice to hide.
Yeah, I got you. I understand the functionality of
Got it. Just want to make sure you understood. Okay.
Also, Tony, there will be sneaking. It's that there isn't surprising, so to speak. They know something's up. They don't know what's up or coming from other than up. But there's a lot of up on a mountain.
And they don't know explicitly, are they coming now? Are they coming now? How about now? You know?
Yeah,
That's
they-
that's
I
the real
also
question.
have a dirty trick that I would like to play on somebody as an
also.
initiation. Are any of these guys mounted up, or are they just like caring and being nearby for these animals?
Nobody seems to be mounted at the moment.
Yeah, it's just all ground. Okay.
They're all looking up at the sky as the ship just went by.
All right. I'm gonna place myself. I am.
Why is Holland concentrating?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
hidden
Oh.
behind.
Not pass without a trace.
I get you.
Yeah.
I
I'm
missed
hiding
I
behind
missed
a
the spell
tree,
and I
I
just
guess.
saw the concentrating. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Okay, and then let's go ahead and get some stealth rolls.
Okay, so that would work.
39, 21, 20, yeah, 21.
Hey,
18.
not a disadvantage now.
18, yeah.
Wait, you wanted to jump on this guy to the south?
Yeah, I want to descend in this general area. Hey, my circles don't show up through the fog of war. That's good to know.
Oh, your drawings?
But that's yeah, they don't float on top, so they're
Yeah.
not as useful for planning as they could be.
I always see them, so
Well, that's good.
yeah.
But
Don't worry.
yeah, the idea would be to drop down there.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so I don't see Dendron's stealth check.
Okay, I thought
Okay.
I'm
Well,
minorly confused about the plan, but I'm just gonna go along with it.
This is just the
Huzzah.
this is just the
we
approach.
got it.
This is just the
Yeah, I was
approach.
gonna say. And
Okay. And I think your flying background are gonna not be right on top of you, right?
no, they should show up like when we start to drop. That's when, in theory, some fast-moving dragons should like swing down in like a dive to
Sure.
torch that area with their Avery escorts. Can you ever keep up with the dragon?
The Avery are actually slightly faster than the Dragon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fun.
They're pretty quick.
Awesome.
Notice that my DC, my spell save DC went up by 1. Ooh,
Very exciting.
Oh
I
yeah,
like it.
my save DC went up as well. I
Yeah,
knock things down.
I didn't realize like it's really not good. But it's like it's still 14, which is just like at the very edge of tolerable.
Okay. So you guys start making your way down the mountainside after the ship has landed. The doors open. You start coming out. Tess and her crew, and the 4 of you kind of start making your way down the mountain while the 2 dragons lose their human forms and take shape into their dragon forms.
Which is, I'm sure, majestic and terrifying.
Yes, and it's massive.
Can I, is it okay if I initiate? Are you cool with
Hold on. I need to fix a thing here. And they are going to be 3-3.
Oh shit. Be right back. Maybe 1 minute.
Okay. And 3-3.
Oh, should we in it?
I will put you guys in the tracker in just a second. Okay. We're gonna wait for Zach to get back.
Okay.
All right, no worries. All right, so I'm going to get you guys into the tracker. Okay, they're both named Melnick. It's all right. I'll survive that.
I don't know the creature.
They're marked, so I know which one's which. Let's see. We'll do these guys separate. Then we're gonna do the little griffins all as one. I'll do these guys as one. Oh my god, this is so many things. This is your fault.
What have we done?
Gave us too many allies. Can't help it that we're popular.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll give you one Death Sworn and then one Poisoner. Okay. Do.
Horrifying.
And Tess. And I think that's everybody.
That is so many people on a list.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stacks on that list too.
Yeah. We start with the Avery. So they are going to kind of just break off and 5 to a dragon. Flank their dragons. 2, 3. Come on. And I think we'll just do... So they're just going to hold action and defend their dragons. And that brings us to Holland.
He's gonna hold.
How's our
at-
drop-in thing gonna work? Do you
Um,
actually start where we're starting, or are we gonna get line drops to where we were targeting?
I will say you can move to where you were gonna start your drop.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's
Just position yourselves where you think you're gonna want to be for the beginning of this combat before you do anything. Okay.
I didn't mean to pick up both of them. Click on Max and move him back.
If you hit tab, you can cycle through your tokens, or should be able to.
I'm stun baton shieldy dwarf today.
Okay. So you're a cop? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Get your taser out.
Oh
So
man,
look at the wall.
do they have pepper spray?
Only if there's innocent people you can spray with it.
No elves are innocent.
Yeah, see, unfortunately. They deserve
All
it.
elves are bastards.
All
Apparently.
elves are bastards.
Alright, so what's Holland doing?
Well, he'll be trying to get onto this like rock ledge here, which appears to be a wall. Does this go up? I take it.
Yeah, it goes up. It goes up and
Okay.
over the cave. If you want to jump down on to this ledge, you can do that.
Wait, to what ledge?
Yeah, you're probably in the dark here for us.
This down here.
Yeah,
Is-
I mean that's what we're desiring. So we
Yeah,
want to
that
get
is-
mantling up on, so that we can drop down onto it.
Yeah. Dendron won't be able to move yet, but if you want to drop
Oh,
down
good.
with...
Said you wanted us to be put where we're dropping. That's where I wanted to drop.
Okay.
Yeah, or I guess
If-
like preparing to drop, like because he's still maintaining that.
Yeah, that's my question. Is like, is Holland jumping down?
No, like he's preparing to. It's just I can't put him on the edge because there's a wall there.
Yeah, yeah.
He's gonna hold action until after Max drops.
Okay.
Essentially, the idea is that as many of us as can drop as one.
Okay, so
Alright,
what else is...
so,
What's he doing? What specifically is Holland doing?
They should be on like. The idea is to mantle that thing and get ready to drop down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is he doing anything else?
No, just maintaining concentration. Like that's all.
Okay. So he's maintaining concentration on the pass without trace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maintaining concentration, trying not to draw attention to himself, getting ready to drop when we're all in position.
Okay, that sounds fine. So he's holding action. What kind of action is he holding?
You jump.
What?
You jump down to drop down.
Okay, he won't be able to do anything once he jumps. Just to be,
mean-
be perfectly clear. If you're holding an
I
action, you can hold an action. If I will allow you to hold your action as a movement, that's fine. But you won't be able to like jump down and attack when somebody else goes down.
Sure.
He's either skipping his turn or he's doing something else. Why is he bouncing all over the fucking map?
That's me.
Should
Keep
be
trying to click
someone
on
figure out
Helios.
the movement.
Like, it's being weird with me about like getting back up on the hill.
Okay.
Okay.
So if he wants to use his movement to jump down, that's fine. If he wants to hold his action to use movement to jump down, that's fine. But he won't be able to take an action when he gets down there. If that's clear.
I appreciate that. That's clear to me.
Okay.
I think the bigger question is anybody going to be able to have an action when they move down there? Like, is there enough space for someone to run over, jump down, and smash things, or is the jumping down
No,
also kind
no.
of...
The jumping down is part of your movement. That's fine. But if
Okay.
Holland is holding his action,
Yeah,
he
that's
he
fine.
is
He's
for
just
he is
holding. He does not need to open up with an attack.
okay.
He'll
He
be
is
fine.
he is foregoing his movement to do that. That's just a so you know.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So that's Holland's turn. Nothing else. All right. Let's see. She kind of knows the plan. I think she will just get there.
And do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, people up there should be fine for that.
All right. So they're going to those. Okay, so as you guys kind of get closer and closer to the ledge, you can see that on the plain out in front of you, the elves are kind of looking up at the sky and trying to figure out what's going on and what that light had been. And one of the elves, over this one over here, all the way at the edge, kind of points up towards the mountain and yells something in Elvish, something like, "They're coming!" And an arrow is fired off, just sort of blindly, in the direction of Holland and Dendron and Gesha. And come on. One of the arrows kind of falls just into the area by you guys, and I need Dendron and Holland to make dex saves, please.
Whoa.
Dendron?
Just a second.
Okay. Dendron and Holland save.
You can get some of those explosive arrows for later. I would like them unexploded.
The alchemists work a little bit differently than just explosive arrows in their quiver.
I wonder if mending would work on that explosive arrow. De-explodify it.
So Dendron and Holland are going to take half damage on that 28. So 14.
Alright.
I'm rolling his concentration check as well.
Yes. That'll do.
I mean,
He's only going to make a 10. But at this point,
it's also like, I guess it could be useful art.
But I just had myself take a second 13 points of damage.
There we go.
okay, that's fine. Okay. And I think the other one, I don't think saw anything. Let me just double check it. No, she did not.
I hope what I'm thinking about will work, because it makes me smile.
We identified that longbow at some point. Just an FYI.
How many do I have those? 2. No. Okay. They're looking, they see the arrow go off, and they're sort of trying to figure out what the hell's going on, but they have not yet managed to do it. All right, so
Uh-oh. They saw that.
yeah.
The shadows are suddenly really intense in this valley.
That's Need a cone. There's a cone. 60 foot.
It'll just hit the guys in the biggest griffin. I think it might 5-foot miss that tiny one at the very end.
Okay. So we need to do dex saves on. Come on. Boom, boom. The griffins fail, the others do not. 18d6. $64 points of damage. So that.
Yep. Totally gonna have to make that armor. Okay.
No, she did not take 64. She took half. Why are they all linked? Oh, I've got them all selected, of course. Oops. So you are at you're at 32. And you are not dead. All right, and then okay, that's that. Okay, so okay. Okay, so you hear some chanting coming from the cliff ledge you guys are about to jump down off of. And then you see the wind kind of swirl up next to the dragon's form, and this whirlwind creature kind of comes out of the air and starts looming towards the dragon.
I call out to Helios. If you can, the air elemental, because I don't think that the Aerie have magic weapons.
One of the big griffins comes up from the ledge that you guys are getting ready to pounce down upon as well, and is going to swipe at Dendron with its claws.
No, I didn't take short rests.
Those aren't gonna hit.
And then it bites you.
Okay, that does hit.
Yeah.
If only if its beak was poisonous.
It is not.
That would be hilarious to just not take any damage from the gigantic creature. 'Cause it has poison claws.
Out. And
You got any dice that you didn't use during the short rest?
I am, and I should have used them.
one of the small griffins leaps out at the dragon, takes a bite at it, but the hide of the dragon is just too much for it. But then it lashes out with a claw, and does a fair bit of damage to the dragon. You can see it just kind of like tearing off a couple claws or scales from the hide of the dragon as it comes behind it and gives it a claw. Okay, and then mount and mount. All right, Max, it is your turn.
Was there a rider on the huge griffin?
The one that came up and swiped it in, or no, there was not.
Okay, then I heard where chanting was coming from, and I'm going to take a running leap and try to land after I leap over that little edge.
Okay.
I cannot cross it, so you'll have to help me with that. But tell me what I need to roll to try and target where the chanting was coming from and land with authority.
Make an athletics check.
Sure.
Okay. And you see this kind of elf in like full battle regalia kind of like turn its head and look at you as you come over the ledge.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the first one is a trip attack.
You can trip attack with javelins?
I can. It's a maneuver.
Crazy.
I've done it in the past.
Yeah, I remember thinking.
Yeah, we described it as essentially I put it through their thigh.
Okay, and that's strength save?
Yeah,
Athletics.
Strength save. No, it's athletics when I hit him with the shield. It's strength when I use a maneuvered.
Strength or a save, or is it a...
It's a save when I use a maneuvered die. And I just need to double check. I'm pretty sure my save is obnoxious. Yeah, no, he's fucked. He's definitely fucked.
Okay. So he's prone, right?
Which means the follow-up javelins were at disadvantage. So, does a 20?
20 does not hit.
Okay, does a 22?
22 does hit.
Okay, so one of them skips off of him because he was knocked down, but the 22 lands and is a goading attack.
Okay.
Which is wisdom save, DC 19. Also, there's a 2 additional D10 on those.
Is that a wisdom save?
Yep, DC 19.
Okay. So he has to attack you or it's disadvantage, yes?
Correct.
Got it.
And an additional 10 from the fact they were superior.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Elementals aren't concentrate. I mean, conjure elemental is not concentration.
It is not. No. You just conjure it and it's there until it's not. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's good for the moment.
Okay.
I have something very funny to do on my turn. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I hope it works out at least half as well as you want it.
It's, I think about like 60-40 in my favor for something happening, or 40 nothing happens. It's unfortunate. It's pretty high gamble.
4D nothing.
So the elemental kind of swirls up to the dragon, and you see this the balled fists of it kind of slam down upon its wings, and it's buffeted by this massive wind as it attacks. The first one just kind of gusts off, but the second one does find purchase, and the dragon is pushed down a bit, and you can see, like, hear some cracking and creaking from the skeletal structure inside of the dragon as it gets wappled by the air elemental. It's the technical term. The old wapple.
Wapple.
The old wapple.
Well, I might have to rename my my fiery warhammer now. The Wappler.
The wappler. Okay, so they are going to... I think the dragon is still probably the biggest threat on the board.
Okay. One of those is gonna hit.
One of those definitely hits. And then dragon has to make a con save. Yeah, that's not a problem. Not a problem. Is it the only poisoner? Yes. Okay, so he's going to take 15 points of damage. So an arrow comes flying out and cracks into the hide of the dragon as well. Dragon's doing fine. You see, it's got a bit left of this in him yet. But Helios, it is your turn.
Okay, you see that guy? Is he riding that big guy 110 to the west of me? Is he already riding the
Is anyone
gargantuan?
mounted yet? I don't think anyone is.
Who are you talking about?
The furthest west people.
Hit X
bigger
on your
of the
keyboard
two.
and put your finger right above him. That guy?
Oh, so that's how that works.
Yeah.
Right here. Is he mounted?
He is not
onto the
mounted, no.
griffin? Okay. I am going to target him with a magical ambush version of Crown of Madness.
Okay. So you're casting a spell?
Yes, that is a 14 DC at disadvantage because I have magical ambush. Unless he beats 29 for spotting me. Wait, somebody was watching for that? Holy
They just
shit.
have to hear it. It's a reaction.
Did that come out of the guy in front of me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I guess I will take a step back from the edge and hide again.
Okay. You got it.
Well, I provoked a 1 higher level spell. I don't know. I would have to suspect that dude that counterspelled me is probably like a level 10.
Maybe.
It's higher. We'll find out.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a place full of wizards. So that dude is non-primary 3rd level spellcaster.
Well, I mean, he definitely just conjured something, so...
Did you cut out for me there?
He conjured the air elemental, so, like, he's not...
Oh, then he
He's
definitely
a
is.
caster. He might be something in addition to a caster. There are those things. But...
Okay, so she's gonna come down and try to whack the big griffin.
Rack it to the ground.
Give the old wapple.
One of those definitely hit.
They all hit, actually.
Oh yeah. Turns out griffins are not wearing armor.
No, they are not.
Well, with enough dragon carapace and enough time.
All right. And then Max.
30.
Fuck
That max.
Yeah.
I was like, what foul beast will target me now?
And that's her move. Tess.
Oh, I did give her the idea that what that sword is good at.
Yes. $20 will hit. It's not enough to kill it outright, though. It was a longsword, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I presume so.
longsword plus 1 plus whatever.
I presume
she gets
so.
for being a fighter.
All right, Dendron.
All right. Well, so I heard Max go flying over that ridge, and then I heard the sound of, no, actually, fuck this guy right in front of me.
Yeah. We need to get you guys vampiric touch. Excuse me, Holland already has it.
Yeah. Should I just roll my quarterstaff for the shock stick?
I don't know. You tell me. Oh,
What?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Right. Trying to remember. It's
a one-handed melee weapon. So
yeah. What are you using it for? Just the shock, the stun.
Yeah, the stun stick that we picked up at the.
Yeah. Use use it as a. Go ahead and use it as a. You go ahead and use your quarterstaff. That's fine.
Alright, so
I need to get that converted. That'll definitely hit.
Excellent.
It was 3d8 on the electricity, right? So 68 from the crit?
No, because it's the shock lance. It's not the lightning sticks you guys got earlier, right?
Yeah, I'm using the weapons that.
Yeah, he's talking about the shock cudgel, like the thing for the battleship.
The battleship.
Yeah, that is not a. It's not like a lightning bolt.
Didn't think it was.
Yeah.
It's just. it clearly does more damage than.
It does more damage than go ahead and roll me. My brain just shut off. Roll me 2d8. Thank you. And it is stunned.
Also, wasn't that a critical?
Well, certainly was.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't applied the damage yet.
Sure.
We're stunned. They're stunned. So and you see as like you come down, you slam the kind of electrified end of your rod into the griffin, and it staggers back, sort of dazed. Anything else?
So then I don't know if it's rough terrain or what, but I'd like to move south.
Yeah, it's rough terrain.
Where?
So that's
Step
10,
up to
20,
the-
25,
no,
30.
That's
You're 30 where you're at.
Oh,
Because you go 10,
Holland would've
20, 25, 30. And Holland would have jumped.
I'll move back here, wherever.
Okay. Anything else?
That is all I can do. I will say my sister texted me that it's my dad's birthday, but these turns have been taking a long time, so I'm just going to give my general murder whoever. I will attack anyone on this ledge.
You forgot your
unless-
dad's birthday.
I did.
Man.
Well, I forget my dad's birthday every year.
I've spent a week. My entire life I've spent a week with him a year, so
Okay, that's
gets
fine.
a call. But for my next turn, I either attack anyone who comes out of this this hole,
Oh, that
into the
very
hole,
big David.
take and murder.
You got it.
And I will still be listening with one headphone in, so I'll get into text talkie if need be.
Got it.
All right, so cloud number 2, electric boogaloo.
Yeah, basically.
Vacuumers.
Okay, where is he at?
Oh, that's not good news.
Nope. So they're all gonna take. And he's gonna not take all that damage, he's only gonna take half of it. So he gets back his.
Man, Shadow Fae. They're tough.
Yep. But he made his save, so. Okay. So, dragon flies down. Another gout of flame kind of bursts out in front of it. Kind of frying a griffin and elf over here. The other griffin and the other elf are still standing. Some more wear than normal on the griffin. And that brings us back top of the round. Holland, no, Avery. Okay, so they are going to.
Oh,
Now that some people are down, they're going to. I think they're going to whack a couple of spears. Nope. They're not very good there. There we go. So the first one will miss, the second one will hit.
well, that seems inappropriate.
Yeah, I think I just whacked the button too soon. There we go. These guys are gonna whack on this griffin. See.
A couple of pokes.
Couple of pokes. One crit will definitely hit. Just got an AC of 12, so the crit and the 20 will hit. Everything else is going to miss. So 8 plus 5. Might be enough. We'll see. But he is definitely heavily wounded as 3 of the Avery kind of fly down and land upon his back and start stabbing him with spears. And
What if we're the bad guy?
well, it's a possibility.
There's no skull on my hat.
What if we're the baddies?
And nope. These 2 gentlemen are gonna fly over here. They're gonna give it a whack. 8 for sure. And 6 and 10.
Well, at least their target selection is excellent. I should have been looking at this already.
I think that's their turn. Okay. Sorry. A lot of NPCs.
That's wild.
And it's your fault. That should be clear.
I understand.
Okay, Holland's up. What's Holland doing?
Holland looks over at the elemental and all right. So a charisma check, a raw charisma check.
From the caster or the elemental, I guess is the thing.
It says your spellcasting ability, so I assume that is Holland. He's over
DC
here.
10 plus the
He's a
spell's
base
level.
DC
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yes, Holland.
Alright. So
So that would be an 8th level spell that it would get rid of. So yeah, that would be enough. Because it's a 5th. So 15 was the DC. He got an 18. The elemental vanishes into thin air. Ba-doom boom.
Nice.
With a hold on, just
That is a very useful spell.
it is, especially with casters around.
Well, just the fact that it's a reaction makes it astounding.
They're all in good shape. The only person who's really been fucked up so far is Dendron and to a lesser extent Melniak, right? Yeah, I think so. There's no way for Inspire to help recharge, so yeah, I think that that's all he's gonna do. Yep.
Okay.
So, and turn.
Let's see, Grisha. She's going to 10, 20. She can get up to him.
No fair with your long legs.
Oh, crap. She should have
Oh, she's within 5 feet of someone on their face.
Yeah. She needs to get herself a weapon, though. I forgot to put a weapon on her. Come on. There we go. And 14 was going to miss, but the 24 definitely hits. So she comes leaping down over the cliff, axe over her head, and she just starts wailing on this poor guy on the ground. Does not look pleased.
This is definitely not the general I've met before, though.
No, it is not. Not the guy you met.
Despite his similar taste in griffins.
Well, the generals seem to like their griffins, man. All right.
Hey, are the mature ones faster than the normal ones?
They move 10 feet first, faster.
Jesus. Okay. those are an explosive one. Maybe there's a limit to how many of those they carry. Crossing my finger, hoping for the best for our Avery friends.
Well, this one's kind of heading right at you guys. 3 longbows.
We're on a higher level than there, right?
They're on a ledge up too, so it's pretty close to equal. Max! The 13 will miss. The 29 will definitely hit for you, though, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I can take 17 damage. Is there anything else I need to be aware of?
Make a con save.
Sure. That one. Ooh.
Oof. Okay, so the arrow snaps into you, and you just feel this like pulse of energy kind of rush through you, and it kind of muddles you a little bit, but you shake it off. And then the other one.
Oh, I didn't have me active. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta be active.
There we go.
Yep. I think.
You guys, did you have any particular desire to burn the midnight oil tonight? I was thinking about wrapping up around 9.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap at 9. We're not gonna finish this combat by 9, but we're gonna wrap it at 9.
Yeah, that was my suggestion.
Yes.
Yes.
We will finish the combat next week.
Hopefully, this is still a lot.
It's a lot, but
no, it's half over. I would say.
Oh, it's gonna be over. Near Spinalia.
Dex. Do the save as a group. So you see as like the other archer aims back in this explosion of fire, kind of over by the
That's a lot of them.
just the one, the first one. So I'm gonna do
Perhaps Pyrrhic.
oops 17 points of damage.
Well, I'd say those are some very lucky Avery.
Yeah, they are a little on the lucky side.
They're defending their natural homes.
Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. That's why. I hate it when I'm like on the wrong layer and I'm trying to select a thing. Whoops.
I mean, I'm honestly just waiting for you to remove the water in the middle of that pool and replace it with a giant eyeball.
No, not here. You guys missed the giant eyeball. Okay. And that's their
I seem to
turn.
recall seeing one.
And I got one
Unless there
more
was one very
action.
close to here.
I think she is just gonna. And you see 3 arrows come off the another, just kind of like shattering on the scales of the dragon, as this archer kind of just fires back. All right, so
Dragon's scary. Uh-oh, dragon turn.
yeah, almost dragon turn. I got one of these guys still alive, so, or two of them. This one is going to drop the bow, whip out its sword. Oof. And do nothing against the dragon. Just kind of careening off of its scales.
Almost like the fucker tried to slash a dragon.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even know what it is, really. Giant lizard? It's crazy talk.
Clearly it would be softer than a giant bug. Oh, someone did some purchase.
Yeah, this Avery over here is get the old wackadoodle. And those are both hit. 9 and 5. Okay. And that's their turn. And now this dragon's turn. Okay. Let's just see if we get the fire breath back. Nope. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a he gets a bite in the claws. Yeah. And then go 17 plus 6. Hmm. 16 plus 20. And you just see it kind of tear into the flesh of the elf who had been swinging his sword at it quite foolishly. And it just sort of roars and kind of holds its ground. It's not going to fly away. All right, he is going to stand up.
You know, I had to stop myself from putting a cloud of daggers like 1 foot or 2 feet off the ground, right over him.
Did you?
I did have to stop myself. It was considered.
I hate that spell so much. Let's see what he's got in his up his sleeve here. Oh, it's a classic. It's a classic. Everybody loves this one. I mean, I love this one.
Do we?
I think we'll do. He's going to move here. That way he's not losing his engagement. And I need Max, Holland, and Dendron to make dexterity saving throws.
Is there a spell being used?
Yes, there is.
It's fireball. He is fireballing us.
Oh.
No, it's not fireball.
Oh. It's
Yeah.
birds' black tentacles. Oh, lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt! Everybody's favorite. God, I love lightning bolt.
Let's see if it works.
Did me.
Dendron, you can take 40 points of damage.
Flash jet.
That's a charisma save
140.
there, Holland. You need a dex save.
That didn't go anywhere.
I'm not rolling a save. I'm rolling a caster level check. Dear sir.
Oh, concentration? For what?
He's dispelling or counterspelling.
I counterspelled.
Ah,
I counterspelled 4th level.
But he cast it, if you'll notice the description, at 5th.
Yeah, but counterspell, like it's not something I have to beat it on.
Yes, it is.
Well, then there's the DC.
No,
check.
with the casting, it's just a matter of like I needed to read it to see if it worked. Okay, no, I do not quite beat it. Okay.
No, and you don't. Yeah, you don't. You have to roll the. It's like dispel.
Yeah, no, I haven't counterspelled enough to know if it was automatic or not, so I needed to check the higher level status to see if it affected the DC. It doesn't.
It does not.
Good
No.
to know. Well, Dex saves.
I need to do one for old. She fallen around here somewhere. Oh yeah, Max, you're taking your 40.
Yep.
Holland takes his 40.
Wait a second.
Wait, does he?
Oh no, he does not. He takes 20.
I was gonna say that's.
Hey, can I get a turn?
Do you get a turn? On your turn, you get a turn.
I think we skipped over my last one.
We did not. It's just a really, really, really long round because there's a million allies here.
We're still
I have had one turn.
5 before you. Then all it takes half, I assume.
Gresha is dead.
Gresha's troll, right?
She's half troll.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that means he can move. So he is gonna move. And that's his turn. Yeah, this is only the second round of combat, man.
Yeah, the reason I made a mistake is I was distracted for a minute, and when I came back, I looked at Dendron's symbol, but didn't notice it was for taking damage instead of taking an action.
Yeah. Oh, he's stunned. Never mind. That griffin is stunned. It gets to make a save. It is still stunned.
What's the
Hmm?
I forgot what hit it with the stunning effect.
Dendron.
My stun rod.
Ah.
Dendron did.
Oof.
Whacked it with the old stun stick.
Gritted too. I wish I'd used my maul.
Yeah.
Sent a giant.
Send him into
griffin
the.
in face.
Could
Okay,
have
that image is gonna keep me laughing for a bit.
could have sent him into this to the far reaches of unknown space.
It's nice to dream.
13, 15. 15 hits. Anybody else up? This way. Okay. And found baby griffins. Do I have any baby griffins alive? One. Come on. I'm getting a bit of lag. Maybe just too much stuff here.
A whole lot of units on there, yeah.
I do. Oh, there it is. He's gonna swing a dragon.
Being aggressive. Being aggressive.
Well, you know, one of those hits. He's a beast. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He just saw his elf buddy get, you know, incinerated. Okay, and that's the last of those guys. And Max.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hello, dear sir. So,
19 misses, the 29 hits.
or no.
Oh, Rosemary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the first one's a trip attack.
Okay.
DC 19 strength save to stay standing. Only 2 additional damage on it though.
Nope, he's down on the first one. So the first one isn't an advantage, right?
No, they're all at advantage because it's an advantage.
Because of Rosemary.
The sword gives advantage.
Yeah.
It's just now anyone else who gets on top of them will also have advantage.
Okay. You may not
so
need it.
21, 40, 56, 60 on the nose.
60 points of damage.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not dead.
Well, unfortunately, I do have an action surge.
Alright.
Rosemary comes down again. Oh, okay. For 27.
Still alive.
Okay, and another.
The 25 hits, yeah. That's still alive.
Well, good to know.
He's not doing well, but you know, he's not dead.
Yeah, happy.
That'll
This
do.
one will be a. Well,
Okay.
and I take a bonus action to suck in some of those sweet additional hit points.
Okay.
Which will heal me for 20 points. Wow, that is fucking awesome at higher level.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
For something I can do once a short rest, yeah. I'll take it.
So I hesitate to mention it, but did you neglect that very bottom left griffin, David?
I did not.
Oh, is it a reinforcement?
No, he's flying away.
Also, like, call out to the dragons, like, we got a runner.
Okay. However, that is 8:58, my friends.
Fair enough.
All right.
We're gonna end on Max's turn. We'll pick up with the Shadowfey Poisoner. Or
Oh,
is
the
he-
guy on the ground surrounded by shit that wants to hurt him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We'll pick up with him next time.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well,
I-
thank you for running.
Yeah,
this
thank you
one,
guys for
so-
playing as
well,
always. And we will.
Sorry we dragged in everybody.
Hey, you know, I don't know why I didn't expect it.
We needed to get them here. Like,
Did you?
that was part of the plan, right?
Did you?
They're here now. and
I don't
full
actually
frontal-
want to just screw wear him over.
Yeah,
So-
true. We should actually like do a sending to Wareham and be like, it's a trap.
Probably should. We're not out of sendings just yet.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks for playing.
All
Thank
right. So, if I can find a band who wants to share a space,
Yeah.
you get.
If-
Okay, cool.
If it's if the price is in the ballpark.
Yeah, I was looking at at the 475. I'm like, well, that would be 58 a month per person.
That winds up being about right. So.
Exactly. So, cool.
All right, man.
All right. I'll talk to some folk.
Okay.
What they're doing.
Sounds good, man.
Well, have a good night, sir.
You too. We'll see you next time. Thanks for playing, guys. Thanks for everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time.